Hello, hello. Welcome to my desk. Well, I've got a bunch of Christmas cards that I want to say thank you for, and it was overwhelming that all this came in one bundle from the post office. I guess they have been like collecting, but I also snuck in the Christmas card from Aunt Beck because I'm still stoked about, she sent me a card. So I got one from Anne Lara, and it is so beautiful. It's like I think a cardinal. And then you have to reverse your thinking. Like this could have been like white snowflakes, but it's an image that's like reversed in color. And I think that's so cool because it makes it so extra interesting. I love it. Thank you so much. And it was just so sweet of you to send me a card. Now I feel really bad because I did not mail out any Christmas cards this year. Time just flew, and then yeah, suddenly I felt it was too late. And then I got one from Teresa Petersman. She enclosed a letter and then also one of her beautiful homemade cards. Look how shiny it is. Hi, Janet. Welcome to my desk. Well, Bussy Butt, now you are like alone in chat, so you can be really, really snarky. But look at this card. You know what's clever about this? I think she cut a sticker in half, glued it on a skewer, and then added a belly band. Isn't that just a cool tip? I mean, that's just. Thank you so much, Teresa. I really love your cards, and I'm gonna read the letter. I read some of the letter. I'm so excited to catch you. Are oh, you know what? I rarely catch you because I'm making dinner. So I always come in at the end of your stream and then just type in chat quickly, like I'm here. This from CB really blew my mind with the substrate she has been using. It is, I cannot describe how beautiful this is and how it feels to touch. I think she must have printed it out on vellum, not vellum, Yupo or something. And the colors, oh my god, my camera doesn't even make it justice. Everything from that perfectly golden gold to all these saturated warm like Christmas colors. This is just Christmas right up my alley. Love this color scheme. It is just perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, CB. And then she wrote, "What do you call Santa when he accidentally falls into your fireplace? Crisp Kringle." And knowing CB, I would have expected anything, something from the gutter about Santa's sack or something. But she kept it clean in her Christmas card. She's so cute. And look, she knew that I would be totally thrilled about receiving a wax seal, and it held up in postage too. Isn't it amazing? It did not snap or anything. So look how elegant it is. Oh my god, I really love those wax seals so much. And this was one from Aunt Bex. Oh, I'm not gonna show the address. And she handmade this card. It is so cute, and I love his expression. You know what? He looks like a Danish artist called Asger Jorn. So if you put a Smurf hat on Asger Jorn, this is what you would get. So this in particular is super special. And this is from Sandra, and as usual, she stuffed that envelope. I mean, till it literally gave up and then started cracking on the edge and in the belly and whatnot. She stuffed it with so many goodies. First of all, I think she know my taste for Christmas pattern paper. Love this color scheme. I'm to the traditional old school Christmas. I tried pink, gray, and what was it? Pink, gray, and light blue Christmas pattern paper one year. Wasn't me at all, didn't get me into the spirit. So I'm gonna stick to this color scheme. It's just perfect. And tons of little mermaid just coming out of this bundle of joy here. I bet I'm gonna find them for a long time. They spawn inside here. It's filled up with fun stuff. And she know that I love these glittery things. It is just awesome. And look at this. I want to try and make this into a painting of a dress somehow, or maybe I should paint our former queen and then embellish her up. Oh, we got a new queen now. We got a king now. Mary, Queen Mary. I should so make some new portraits. I did a portrait of Her Majesty Margrethe, but I should really make a portrait of our new king and our new queen. This just is so cute, with that pom pom. So I think it is just adorable. So it's so good. And then a lot of these flowers, I should use more of those flowers for sure. So yeah, it's good that she sent them, and die cuts of Christmas trees. I want to test these out on the gel plate and see if I can get something fun out of it. And then this really blows me off. Imagine sitting doing handcraft work like this. Look how tiny and delicate it is. I think it's called tatting. I've seen it over at Mary's Atelier's channel, and it just making that inner ring alone just takes up so much time. So I'm deeply in respect about everything that made you know labor into making things like this with your hands. So yeah, I think it's a Christmas bell in a bow. So yeah, that's really. Hi, Kathy Apple. Ooh, I'm gonna close this. And then I won a giveaway from Didi with some planner stickers. And I don't know if you guys know, but I do pretty planning. So this was so up my alley. And I am such a lucky little pig because I saw on the monitor that there was these stickers with houses. And I was like, oh, I would love to win that. And then I won. So even though that Raul was also putting in a number, I actually ran with this prize here. Thank you so much, Didi. It's very generous of you. I love all these kwai, where you put like eyes and mouth on things. I think they're so cute. So yeah, really love it. You know what? I actually with the wax, not wax, but polymer clay. Let me see if I can grab it without tearing everything down. Look, with polymer clay, I made these donuts and put like these kwai faces on. I am a sucker for these things. And I can use and will use every single one of these stickers because I am a pretty planner girl. So thank you so much. It is just full of joy to open up my mailbox. So I wanted to share this. I also want to share an information. It's about my Patreon. I uploaded today, and I couldn't upload the video unless I put in an amount that someone could buy just that single video. And first I put in $1 and it wouldn't accept it. It said amount too low. And then I put in $2, still amount too low, $3, and then it accepted it. But I just want to put it out there that it's not me who wants to sell just one single upload for $3 on my Patreon. It's the system. And I just want to put out there also that for $5 you can access all my archive in Patreon. So don't buy just one single video. But I don't know why it's something new. So, but I think it's unfair that I had to put in that amount before I could upload my video. So they're like forcing me to do that. Okay, the journal we're gonna decorate in today is my house journal. This was actually a chocolate calendar. That's weird. You don't have that on your Patreon, Kathy? I think it's super weird. Uh, I don't remember ever clicking on wanting to sell single video. I've never heard about that before. So, but I'll try and do some footage of it on the next time that I upload, so I can show you where that problem occurs when you are uploading to the Patreon. Yeah, actually, I think it's like catfishing people to pay $3, and also the fact that you could not just say $1, you know. So yeah, guess inflation is kicking in, and people nowadays think that $3 is, oh, that's nothing. I still think it's a bunch. But okay, this was a chocolate calendar, and there you could open these gates, and then there was a piece of chocolate inside. And of course, I opened all of them and ate the content, and then I filled out some small vellum pictures, decorated like that. So, and then I put temporary adhesive on it so that I can still close and open the gates. But I couldn't part with this. I know for many people this would be like trash, but I just think that it could be so fun to make it into a journal. And I don't know if you guys remember that I made this huge poster of a building where all my Tim Holt people are living in. So I just took pictures of that and decorated the inside with that madness. Ta-ta, this is how it looks. When I revisit that poster, I was thinking, man, I must really have had a lot of spare time that day. It's so detailed and intricate. But everything is there, like the kitchen and look at the library, guys. Look at the library. Like everything is so freaking detailed. So I thought it was suitable to glue in those printouts on the inside cover of this house journal. And yeah, I know these pointy roof tips here are just asking for it, because let's see how long they hold up. They're like super fragile when they're like that. So I'm thinking about maybe I should protect them with that bookbinding clear acetate you can glue on. I forgot the name of it, but it has a special name. You use it for school books, when you was binding in books. But this is a rather big journal. Yeah. And it was I actually have the poster here. I don't think that I can get it under the camera, but let me just try, just for fun. I think you can only get the roof under the camera. It is this humongous sheet. And it all started because I received these Tim Holtz people from Lori. I thought, well, they need a house to live in. So I started making this gigantic poster. And then, oh my God, it is so big. I need to show it upside down. And it's so funny. At the end of the building, where you go in, I put a bar and then an art studio with naked people, croquet. And then I added Waldo sitting in the chair in the art studio. So I had my fun making this. And now it's just looking. I don't know. Do you guys sometimes forget your own art pieces? Like completely forget all about them, and then when you revisit them, you're like, man, I really must have had a boring week that day. So, but yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And I have no idea why I suddenly just went crazy about yeah. I just saw the Tim Holt people and didn't know what to do with them, but I for sure wanted to make them to have a house to live in. Speaking about house, I think I want to decorate this strip down here with the house from Dee Dee, because that would be so awesome. Let's see if they height-wise can. Oh, these tiny ones can actually be here. Let me see how I'm gonna do it. it could be fun to have like a big one. Yeah, this is just so cool. I think I'm gonna do like this. They are slanted, wonky, and that would be perfect because this is a homemade journal. So I wanted it to have papers in that I could enjoy working on, and I knew that it would involve like 140 grams of paper because that's the paper I like to watercolor on, right? But making a homemade journal with such a sturdy insert of paper, you are just asking for trouble. So, of course, this journal is going to be like super, super wonky when it's finished. But for me, it's just a fun desk journal, almost like a work journal. I just, yeah, I'm not precious about this journal here. Let me just say it like that because I use it to study things in and stuff. I think I want to draw like a road. Like, could we imagine that there could be like a road behind here? Yeah, I'm just gonna line it in. So, oh my God, I'm totally off camera. I can't even scoot it up further. But now I started the decoration with the stickers. They just belong here. Well, guys, here in January, I set up a dream come true of a watercolor palette. Oh my God, I've been wanting to do this for such a long time. This paper is not showing the paint and giving it justice at all. I bought from Miele a 32 well porcelain desk palette for my watercolors, and I need a desk palette that got a good variation of my granular paints. I collect watercolors, but for some reason, I don't know why, out of mind, out of sight, or is it out of sight, out of mind? It is so difficult for me to grab that palette where I have collected all my granular watercolors. And sometimes when I sit and paint, I am actually thinking about, man, if I wasn't so lazy, I should get up, get that palette. But since I like to paint wet in wet, I'm also thinking like, there's no time for that, you know? So I finally made a dream come true and took good time to select out 32 tubes that I want to be present in my porcelain desk palette. We got a huge majority of M gram because it's a desk palette. You're not gonna travel with this sucker. So I can use the M gram watercolor in that because it's honey based and not friendly to use for palettes that are slanted out. Like it can run from pan to pan. I took the time, guys, to really be cautious about what do I want. Let me okay, let me show the heavy. It's super heavy. I mean, here it is. It comes with a lid, and thanks God for that because with the cat and everything. And it's a humongous beast, but I kind of like it. I'm used to working with the Robex palette when I'm not streaming, and I really like the big wells come in for big washes. Oh, I put this here. It came without this porcelain thing here. It is just so beautiful. I've been eyeballing this for a long time, but I also have thought that as soon as I buy it, I need to study what I'm gonna put in it, and I want something that's different from all the rest of my palettes. So I'm so happy that now I got this palette with focus on the granular part of my watercolor collection. And I just want to put out there, let's see, why does she have to? I'm sorry, Janet. Janet, this is humongous. I mean, this is so big that my cat wants to jump up and nest in this circle here. For her, it's like a bed. So it's also awful to have in your craft room if yeah, right. I think, you know what? I think it's worth it because it's going to be an everlasting tool. And I do like to mix on top of porcelain. And even though this seems like a big enough porcelain tray to mix on, I still run out of space. So I was thinking I want a full plate, you know? If you're gonna buy this, I want to say that it comes without any instruction. So I'm just gonna tell you how I feel about setting this up because I was really analyzing it. Because once you squeeze out the engram, you cannot really move them around, you know. So my chain of thought is that can you see there is an arrow here and there is an arrow here and here? I'm thinking that that represent the primary colors. So if you're smart, you would put a Hansa yellow here, you would put a primary red here, and an ultramarine here. And then here you can see that there is some sort of a pointy little arrow here, here, and here. I'm thinking that's the secondary colors. So you would put a green and an orange and a purple there. So if you start building up with that as a bone, as a skeleton, things becomes easier because then you have placed a good separation of your colors and you will actually have a palette where it's represented so that you got opposite colors opposite each other. So in a way, you if you're really smart about it, you can replicate some sort of a color wheel, and you can navigate by looking at the arrows. Isn't that smart? I have 4 different porcelain palettes, but nothing like this monster. Hi, Brenda. Yeah, and it's super heavy. Oh my god, it is so heavy. But I think it's worth it because I have this side table where it can live forever and I don't need to move it around. And the lid is actually out of this. I'm telling myself it's this super sturdy plastic. So I know it sounds fragile, but I have already now have stacked up things on top of that lid and it's still holding up. So yeah, I really love it. I really love it. I'm just gonna take it away because it's totally flashing out my light. But oh my god, it was a dream come true. I also want to speak about why it has been taking me so long to do this maneuver, putting my palette together. It is because this is a mix of a lot of brands. In my palette, I have like Engram, Schminke, Core, Van Gogh, and Paul Rubens. And it's new for me to have mix of brands in one palette. For some reason, I've been so anal that in each palette I got same brand. And sometimes in one brand you want one color. Like from Core you want that quinacridone gold and the transparent iron oxide. There's always like this one pan in each brand that you think that was a nice olive or that was a nice sap green. So this is the first for me to collect the best and then also have a heavy representation of the granular paints because I really need to include that more into my painting. For some reason, I have collected a bunch of granular paints, but do you guys see me use them? Very rarely, right? Let's see. I also collect watercolor. And always forget all I have. I need a swatch book one of these days. Yeah. My collection of watercolor is, I think, yeah, I know it sounds bad. I don't think it's too much. And if someone else saw my collection, they would be like, "Whoa, how many how many years do you think you're gonna live?" I mean, it's just a lot of paint. But for me, I think there is a reason behind every purchase. And just like you're growing, when you start from scratch like I did, and then are growing and evolving on a journey, you will have purchases that you wouldn't repeat today. So yeah, this page spread here uh, ignited something really, really interesting and crazy. I really like the Pretty Excellent paint, and then they changed name, and suddenly they're called Mi Liang, and suddenly they came with the pamphlet with all the pigment numbers, and I had a request for myself. Besides setting up my granular desk palette, I wanted to set up what I would call my abstract palette, because I want to learn how to do abstraction. And right now, when I'm swatching out new paint, I tend to do it the Alison Dewan style, because I think that tells me more about how do the colors mix together. I enjoy watching the color unfold itself in a big wash. So I have been doing these clusters for a while, and I have also started to kind of decorate them a little bit with some doodling and stuff. But I haven't really ventured into it much, because I'm feeling that abstraction is really difficult. But I also feel that when I'm doing these things, I suddenly want to grab for a gold, a silver, a mica, and then we are into this hell where I need four palettes on my table, because suddenly I'm having the Paul Rubens palette in front of me, the Prima shimmery palette, um, other palettes, and I get confused when I have like four palettes. So I told myself, you know what, I want to make an abstract palette, one palette where you can just dip and go, because when you're doing stuff like this, for me it's very intuitive, so I would hate to have to stop and mix something. I want a pre-mix convenient pan that I can just dip in, so it goes like fast. So I was thinking, what palette out there do I feel um I have a yearning for, and it would absolutely be the beam paints. If if I could be rich and just pick any palette to be my abstract palette, I would buy the beam paint. But I couldn't kind of afford it. So what I did was that if you look at this crazy page spread, I sat down and then I looked at all the pigments info on Beam Paint's website. I wrote all that crap down, and then I transferred over to the pigments that I got in my stash. And then I took all their colors and figured out how can I mix them myself by using the Mi Liang. And then when I was done with that, I was able to sort of replicate the beam palette. So what I did was that I made a replication of the paints, and I cross-referenced them to the Beam Paint website. So once I had that locked in, I could sit nice and easy and choose and think about, why do I like this palette? And what I came to of conclusion is that I like it because what it have to offer is different. It have like six opaque colors, just like kind of washy, like gouache colors, but not like 100% gouache. And when they run into a transparent color and takes it over, it just creates a fun texture and effect. I love it because it got 11 colors with mica in it. That's that's a plus when you're doing abstract art, I think. I love it because most of the colors that are not a gouache and not a mica is a mix of two colors. So whatever you pick, it's something different, you know? So I sat down and then I created with my my own stash, and I'm so proud of myself that I did not shop for this at all. I just went into my own stash, and then I created this palette here, and I put all the colors in a Meeden tin. And the woman who inspired me and introduced me to the beam paint is Alison Dewant, and she's doing what she's calling art poetry. And I don't know if it's called art poetry in general, just like they call like grit journaling for grit journaling and not like square fun, or you know what I mean? Like, who invented the name art poetry? I don't know. Um, but I think art poetry kind of sums up what I want to do with this palette here. So first I called it Abstract 2025. I think it was a little bit boring. And then I made this sticker myself inspired by a Pokemon called Mimikyu. Yeah, that's how old we are over here. But this palette here is the best that I like about what I subtracted of the Beam palette collection. I got mica, I got pastel, I got funny mixes. I got a lot of things here, and I got once again brave and took a lot of pans out of their normal home and placed them in here. And some part of me think that it doesn't feel good. Like for instance, this, this, this pan is, and that one is from a set I bought from Debbie Epps, and it did not feel good to take them out of their little case. And this is from a Van Gogh shimmery palette that I bought. So now there is a hole there. And this is what I was gifted from Sandra, and I took them out of another palette that they were living in. So there's also a lot of these that are from the Prima, um, those 24 black tin small, way back 2018-ish, where Prima had these fun convenience palettes for like almost no money. Um, fun fact about these Prima colors is that once again, like beam paints, it's a mix of two pans. So yeah, I still feel relaxed about have taken out so many colors from their original house and now put them in a new condo, because I'm justifying it with at least it will be used, right? And then when I counted up on my fingers, I was thinking we got like 5 palette represented here. No way that I would take out 5 palettes to do abstract art. So yeah, I suffer from yeah, suffer from full set syndrome. I more suffer from family to family. Like I like all my Sennelier paints to be together in the same palette. So it kind of feels wrong to take just one out and place it somewhere else. That is yeah, it's just, but hey, I'm gonna try something new, and it's gonna happen now, because I was so cool about making the granulate palette, so why not make my abstract palette? So and it's totally inspired by beam paint, and beam paint is something I learned about through Alison Dewant. And I actually was so lucky that Amber gifted me this. This is so cute. She gifted me this, and these are like original beam paints. So I actually got to try them out. They ask $560 for their 52 pan palette. I think it's a little bit out of my budget, and I'm so glad that I now got a cool substitute that I managed to smash together with just visiting my stash. So that's so cool. But the lady who inspired everything about this abstract watercolory style and also introduced me to the beam palette is Alison Dewant. So today I want to decorate this pocket right here with some of her art style, because I kind of feel in my head that it goes together. That like she was the culprit for all this, you know. So hashtag blame it on her. Um, and I will think unconsciously think about her name when I see this crazy page spread anyway. So that's what I'm gonna do today. But okay, let's still flip through my journal here. All of my Daniels are in their palettes. All of my Schminger are in theirs. Yeah, me too. I use from both in an art piece. They are not allowed to sit beside each other in a different holder pen. Yeah, it takes guts, right? It takes guts to pull them out and separate them. But they can always come back home. So yeah. Okay, and then in this page spread here, Kathy Abra, she was like poking me on the shoulder, saying like, "Hey, did you check out Ali Kavanaugh? And she's painting with core and using core as core ground as her substrate." So here I was just trying that out and having a tester page of that. And then I realized that Ali Kavanaugh's skin tone palette is so much different from what I would pick. So of course I have dipped my toe into her painting style and wanted to try it myself. And so far I like it. Uh, I feel I'm making something new. You know, this does not look like something from my hand. So so in that regard, I think it's good. It's always fun to study. And this is my crazy study that went on before I could set up my porcelain palette. I told you guys I have been collecting granular watercolors for a long time, but I have never had a spread where I could compare them all in one glance. So I made myself this page spread here where I swatched out all my granular paint from Daniel Smith, and I got help from the dot card to pick them out. And then I swatched out all my granular paints from White Nights. And then I swatched out all my dusk colors from Van Gogh. And then I swatched out, and you can pull these tags out here. And the reason why I got them like tags is because I like that I can take them out and compare them with one another. And after doing this swatching, I realized that White Knight and Van Gogh is using, yeah, because I'm so anal, I also studied the pigment numbers. They're using the PBK 11. It's a black color that granulates like no other monster. They're using that to make their paint being granular, and that's kind of, like giving everything this same look where you can bump into something that's really dark on your dried up artwork. So with that in mind, I quickly decided, no, I'm not gonna have PBK 11 granulation in my porcelain palette. So I also had to pull out all of these. This is just an example. Like, can you see there's like two blue colors here, and then there's a lot of blue right here. I could not remember in my head what's the difference. I'm not saying it's the same. I'm just saying that it's a little bit difficult just to recall on the backbone of your memory how does it actually look. So I needed to swatch everything out and then handpick what I wanted in my palette because I didn't want the same. Yeah, so this was a lot of work. It should have been done earlier. Like I should have taken the time to do this way before it happens. Who can have such a huge collection of granular colors and never took the time to compare them to one another? Yeah, so I'm just glad that I finally got that done. And then, of course, I tried to paint with one of the colors. If I was in doubt I try to work with it, especially the yellow one. I discarded. First, I was interested in having a granular yellow in my porcelain palette, but after working with it, I realized no, I don't want that. It's not for me. So kind of fell in love with these hazy, dusky. Yeah, it's just granulation is special. It's a specialty effect, and it looks weird when you paint a 100% image just using granular paint. You should kind of mix it up with paints that are not granular to make it looks nice. But I knew that before I started this page spread. So I don't mind that it looks crazy. I just wanted to see the color in action before I put it in my palette. So yeah, and that's like the beam madness coming there. And then today on my Patreon, I uploaded this where I was working with salt and the core palette, and then I should have ended it off because I'm looking for I want answer to some questions about, do you enhance granulation when you're using salt? Do your paints become brighter when you're using salt in your water? And how does it actually look, you know? And I wanted to end it off this experiment here by using granulation medium, but I cannot find it. So, so that's how far I've come in this journal. It's a homemade journal. I'm having a lot of fun in it. It's a desk journal, so nothing is precious, nothing at all. And it's just fun to have these homemade journals where you kind of study things, you know. So yeah, but back to this. I call it art poetry palette. I need to study where that name come from, the art poetry. And this is my cheat sheet of the palette. Oh man, I really like this palette. It's uh it's just so cute. Yeah, it's been, thank you. It's been great, but also like really time consuming projects. It needs to be done. I've just been so lazy. So yeah. Oh yeah, this journal is new. Yeah, but Kathy, I had task. You know, I've been having it in my head, brewing, that I need to do this and I need to do that. And once you squeeze out wet paint in a palette, there's like no way back. And I am over that. You know, I don't accidentally ever want to squeeze out a half pan in a random palette just to squeeze it out, because I'm battling something, you know, like a dislike. How can I explain it? Like sometimes, you know, that full set syndrome you talked about. Sometimes when I get a tube set, I feel an urge to squeeze out every single tube in its own half pan and put in a new palette. But immediately when I get the set, there are like three colors that I immediately dislike. Sometimes it's a green, you know, like I'm thinking I'm never gonna dip into that green, not even for mixes, but I still squeeze it out because, you know, I paid for it. So I think I'm done with that because it's just like dragging along extra luggage. So yeah, it's just yeah. But today I want to do like Alison DeWant, the something something like her style. And if you're in doubt what it is, I practiced a little bit in this other journal that I have. I'm talking about this, and I'm talking about, that's what this palette can do for me. The shimmer, the mica, um, and of course she's got like a signature gold sun on every single one of her paintings. And I feel like, oh, how much of that marking can you actually borrow before you're like completely copying her, and then you have to give a shout out every time you're having fun doing these abstract paintings. So I was thinking, you know what? The red sun means something to me because not only is it a lullaby song in Denmark, and it's called "The Sun is Red, Mama." Solen er rød, mor. Solen er så rød. And it's a lyric that we studied in high school because it's cross-referencing death. So this song was actually also sang when we went to two funerals of our old classmates, because it's just it's like a Danish thing. So I was thinking I I can use a red sun and justify over for myself that I am not copying her style. But I think it's so difficult, like how can you invent new marks to become your style? So I'm just telling myself to let go. I'm telling myself, you know what? As long as I don't sell it and call it like "Hey, I invented this wheel right here," I should be safe because I do feel respect for other artists, and I do feel that this is so much the essence of her work that I kind of feel naughty when I am doing my rendition of it. Have you guys ever felt like that? Also thinking about you see something like, okay, we'll just take the example about grid journaling. You see some people do the grid journaling, and then to get to know that style, of course you are inspired by their artwork, so you read it as a tutorial, so you pick the same stencils, the same colors, the same madness with washi tape. You build up the structure, same because you want to learn it. And then when you have done it long enough, you kind of create your own style. And I think I am not there yet where I can just freehand my own abstract style. So I have given myself, allowing myself to borrow a lot from Alison DeWant, and I hope that she won't get offended. But I'm serious about this abstraction. Why is it so hard to paint abstraction? But I kind of also feel that this style here speaks to me because I am a watercolor girl. So I like those big washes where colors can mix and tease each other. And you learn, guys, you learn so much doing a spread like this, for instance. You learn that your yellow is very invasive and takes over the red. You learn that the way things travel, and you learn that if you have patient and don't mess with it with your brush, you can freaking lay up colors that usually would turn into mud, but it will dry up not being mud. How can I explain it? Like here, I got a yellow next to a purple. In theory, it should be brown, but the way you work with the water tension and you're not disturbing it with your brush, you can manage to layer color and still keep the vibrancy. So I think I learned so much about this. Look how I got backed up green next to red and I still don't get any mud. So guys, you learn so much. And it looks like a waste of time. It looks like you're just you know, shuffling with colors. But it's I think it's a super good practice. If I ever had to do a watercolor class or something, I would focus on this because you don't even need to be skilled at drawing. You can still create something that's likable and with a lot of colors without transferring a sketch. Know how to draw, you know what I mean? So yeah, that is just so cool. Okay, I'm forgetting to read the chat. Uh, I feel like a sloth. No, don't. That is what I think. Each one is a learning experience. Give the original artist credit. Exactly. Janet, you also use a lot of other artists' books and stuff as a springboard to your artwork, and you must also feel like I feel like feeling a little bit naughty, like oh my god, is this looking too much? But as long as you shout out and tell where the it all started from, I think it's okay. That's how you learn your own style, by picking bits of each things you learn to find your own. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So for me, I'm thinking more about the mark making that I like to see are, of course, the dots and then the V's. And here it's because about sleeping and the big sleep death, I put in the Z for sleep. So some of the mark making I kind of think about, and some of the mark making I'm just making because it, dots. I mean, who doesn't love dots? Dots looks good on everything. That's like the bacon of watercolor abstraction. So I have played with so many art pieces. Kathy has done. Yeah, me too. One of my Christmas cards were gnomes. I played with that. Kathy did. Oh, they're so cute. I get why you're afraid of copying, but I think it's very important. Yeah, we learn a lot when we copy. For instance, in this book here, I wanted to work with my own stickers and own ephemeras, and I really love this little guy Mimikyu from Pokemon, and I use him like here. I made him in Shrink It, I think it's called. Yeah, it's shrink wrapped in the oven, and then I made my own sticky notes, just drawing the figure. And what I learn when I am working with this figure is that I am twisting and turning him, and he's, where do I have it? Like here, like he's holding a sign, he's looking at something. I made my own stickers, like here it is, he's just standing, and these are like he's standing behind something where I could write some notes on. But notice how I constantly have to work with the figure. The figure. I did not invent this figure to begin with. He probably doesn't even look like this at all. He looks so much better in real life, in the real Pokemon. But that's how you learn, like to work with a figure, even though I did not invent it at all. And here I took him. I took. I placed. I cut it out, and then I placed the die cut on one of my page spreads. Took a picture, printed it out, and then I've been using packaging tape to tape over this and making my own washi tape like that. That is just so funny. But yeah, a ton of artists inspire me to try their style. It changed over time. Yeah. Okay. Have a great day, Janet. This journal here I built over at my Patreon and showed how I embellish with the, is it called beads, pearls? Um, it's some printout pages that I got from Amber in a message. She emailed them. And that's, by the way, a nice way to share artwork where you don't have to involve postage and the slow snail mail. So let me see if I can find it. There's more here. It's just sporadically decorated with a ton of in this case here, it's like a, I don't even know what this is called, corset lacing or something. Yeah, it's fun, but of course it's a little bit too much. I've got flags here. Yeah, it's a fun journal. It's just a junk journal. But yeah, let's get started, guys. I can't wait to do this, and I'm also a little bit like what are the plans going to be? I really like mine to yeah, the problem with me and abstraction is that I still wanted to represent something. Isn't that bad? So before I even start on this page, I wanted, if I need to do this and get it to be closer to my own style, I have to listen to that impulse. So even though it's not going to be like abstract, because I am not giving it into chance, but just the colors are falling, you could say. I still think it's a very abstract way of doing it. So yeah. Hi Dar. Thanks for coming. Okay, but I am thinking about making something that could drip. So I want to pick a color and I want to go in this hue here because that's sort of the same color as my header. So this color here could be like the dominant. Yeah, and then I actually wrote something here, and I feel that I MacGyvered my way into making my porcelain palette. So I wrote, "You can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it." MacGyver. That's something that MacGyver actually have said. He's got a bunch of funny quotes, strange things that he's been saying on his show. If you don't know who MacGyver is, that's the guy who can fix the world with a hairpin and gaffer's tape. That's it. He is like really. So I think that I kind of wanted his quote to be there because I felt like MacGyver when I had to set up my different kind of palettes. But okay, now I want to make a drip here. So I'm just gonna do like Alison DeWant does. She makes a little bit of tip here down, and then she add the color, and then she knocks it down. But I want more than just one tree, so I'm gonna be a little bit of a daredevil. I'm gonna feed this with a lot of water, and then I'm gonna make a tree next to it, and it could be like a yellow. So I'm just gonna plot in a tree here where I hope that the drip will fall right through this MacGyver quote here. And then I don't even know if this is gonna work, but I will try and make 3 drips in one take. And if I wasn't streaming, I would do it one at a time. But guys, it takes so long time for a drip to dry up. So I think I need to do them simultaneously. Okay, now I'm just spontaneous looking at my palette, and I feel that I do want to invite some bright green. So just a small bright green here. And I'm just gonna let the colors bump into each other because it is like just an abstract forest. Okay, I am sure that I got enough liquid to try and bump it. I think I should stop right there. I like it. I actually like the way it doesn't look crazy, but I would prefer that if these drops should be like tree trunks or something, that they were a little bit longer. So maybe I can actually just add in more paint, because I'm thinking that they could be like tree trunks. So let me see if I can just add in more water here, let that run. And I can see that the yellow and this pinkish created an orange. So I'm just gonna follow that color that happened right there and put in orange here. See if I can knock them down as trunks. Yeah. This is nice. So lucky. I thought they were like run off the page. Yeah, I like this. This is likable. That's a good start. Oops. I almost dipped my